Hello and welcome to this bonus episode of the Gazette's Hockey Inside Out Show. I'm Stu Cowan of the Gazette, and I'm joined by my regular partners here, former Canadiens teammates and 1986 Stanley Cup champs, Chris Nilan and Rick Green. Guys, trades obviously a big part of building an NHL team, and Canadiens GM Kent Hughes has made quite a few since taking over. Knuckles, what do you think is the best trade the Habs have made over, let's say, the last 10, 15 years?
Pacioretty for Suzuki, Tata, and a second round in 2019. Who was the second round? Do we know?
It was Samuel Fagemo.
Okay, so that didn't work out. Sammy boy. But, Tata was effective when he was here, right?
Yeah.
He did his job, scored some goals. But the big thing, obviously, is Nick. That's, changed the franchise. It got him on a track when these other guys came in there and started stockpiling draft picks and having a good minor league team and bringing the picks in. They picked well, So, yeah, Nick Suzuki, no question. He's captain of the team, the face of the franchise. Really got a good temperament for it when you think about it. He seems very chill, and he goes out and he puts the numbers up. He does his job. Well,
Samuel Fagemo also, he was actually drafted by the Kings because the Canadiens traded that pick later on. So that's Rick. Which trade stands out to you, or do you remember?
Well, I think like Nuck said, Suzuki addition is a no-brainer. But let's go back to a guy named Alexander Carrier for Justin Barron as a trade that has really affected the Canadiens in a very positive way. Just a great move and great addition. And, there's another list, 2022, Mike Matheson for Jeff Petrie and Ryan Paling. Mike Matheson doing a hell of a job, looking really good with the organization. And, the list goes on, but, there's a lot of guys that were traded that didn't pan out, but you can go down for over the years, and there's a lot of guys that are brought into Montreal. Not to mention the 1981 trade, but
my God!
That came in and had an unbelievable impact with the organization. And,
Hello. The question was, what do you think the best trade the Habs have made over the last 15 years? The best one, the best. We don't need three of them. What was the best? That's it.
That's that just kind of came up out of nowhere. I don't know if it's a little soft spot in my heart, but I think it is. But yeah.
Before that, it might have been the Ken Dryden trade.
Yeah. Just remind us, Rick, who did the Canadiens give up to get you from Washington?
Englund, Jarvis, Laughlin, and Langway.
Right.
They were
way too much. Way too much.
So what? They made playoffs after the trade.
We overpaid for that so much.
What if he won the Norris Trophy? Who cares?
Oh my God!
Who cares?
Overpaid.
Well, you mentioned the Pacioretty trade, which is interesting because Marc Bergevin had really painted himself into a corner there with Pacioretty. Remember, it was a he said. Max said he wanted to leave.
Whatever. Bergie made a great deal. He did. You got to give Bergie credit.
The thing is, though, Suzuki's not the player Bergevin wanted, right? He wanted Eric Brandstrom first. Then he wanted Cody Glass, and they wouldn't give those guys up, so they ended up with Suzuki. So in the end, it worked out well.
He still did it.
Yeah, and I remember that trade was like at 2:00 in the morning of the Canadiens golf tournament, because Bergie didn't want the distraction of Pacioretty at the golf tournament that day, I'm sure. And then when he settled and he said, "Okay, we'll take Nick Suzuki," it worked out well. But another trade that involved Pacioretty is the one when the Canadiens acquired. They traded Josh Georges. They got Josh Georges and a first-round pick from San Jose, and then they used that first-round pick to take Max Pacioretty. So that's how they first got him. And another trade that's really impacted the Canadiens now, when they traded Brett Kulak to Edmonton for William Lagesson and a conditional second-round pick that turned out to be Lane Hudson.
And what about Josh Anderson for Max Domi? Josh, Max Domi in a 23rd round pick. And Josh is, still here since 2020.
Yeah, that was then Knuckles. One of the trades that you didn't like, I was the one that sent you out of Montreal. What do you remember about that day?
It was terrible. Why do you bring up bad shit? It was miserable. Broke my heart.
There was another trade made later that brought you back to Montreal, right?
Yeah, Big Surge brought me back, but for the curtain call, he might have another Stanley Cup if I was still there against Calgary in '89.
Yeah, so that going back to that Josh Georges story, the Canadiens got Josh Georges and a first-round pick, which was Max Pacioretty, in exchange for Craig Rive. So that's not a bad deal. How did it work when you came back, Knuckles? What did Serge call you? How did it end up you coming back? Because some people might forget that you came back and did finish your career here.
No, I called Serge and told him, please get me out of here, will you? Can you bring me back? And he did. And I wanted to, I would have been perfect for Burnsy. And it was near the end. And, I lived in the same building on Lincoln Ave as Burnsy. He was awesome. I remember we had them test at the end of the year. And I was, leaving practice. He said, what are you doing tonight? I said, nothing. I got the test tomorrow. He said, I don't give a shit about the test. He said, come on, let's go out for dinner. So we go out for dinner, and then we're at the Pasha Club till 4 a.m. I was throwing up, doing laps. I was throwing up, doing sit. The college kid telling me to do sit-ups. I did like 2 sit-ups. I said, that's it. I'm done. I said, Burnsy told me, he said, I don't care about the test with you. I don't give a shit. And, oh, God, I felt terrible. And I realized retirement was close when we had to skate a mile. Yeah. And my old centerman lapped me, Cabo. And I was just like, the booze was coming out.
If you had a much better, cleaner act, you probably would have been a better player, is what it comes down to. But
well, at that point, yes. But earlier on, I needed that just to get by, Plus, how the hell could I get away from you? I need somebody to drive me home.
Yeah.
So after the trade, what's it like, though, guys, like when you walk into a new locker room for the first time? It's got to be weird. Rick?
Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, I was coming from an environment, obviously, which was a losing environment with, some decent players, but nothing to the degree of what you walk into the history of the Montreal Canadiens. And automatically you get a lift and motivation to make the difference coming into that setting, even though I wasn't in shape. You come in with a lot of really good quality people, and you want to be part of that. And it's different, but I tell you what, it's a refreshing change from coming from guys that really didn't care about anything from what kind of job they're doing to what they would bring to the team, to a group of guys that care for each other and would do anything they could to find a way to win.
Thanks, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it out there. We'll be back with our weekly Hockey Inside Out show next Wednesday. And in the meantime, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our Hockey Inside Out YouTube channel.